No one has the balls to stand up like I'm doing right now. Stop the crap already. We're all Americans. We're all equal. I don't see black. I don't see Asian. I don't see anything but American.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bo Dietl's One Tough Podcast. Wow. That's the word I said last night. Wow. Today I'm joined by, and I don't say this lightly, he's a personal friend of mine, one of the great actors of all times, and I'm really honored that he's here today. He's been on my show before. I've been on his show too, but I'm here today because something happened last night. And I'm telling everybody right now, it was the most unbelievable piece of acting that I can remember in my lifetime. And you're going to say, what was that? Well, we know Chazz put together one of the great movies of all time, The Bronx Tale, which I love, one of my top films. And then I've been watching Chazz over the years with the one-man show. Excellent. I've seen it 3 times. Matter of fact, my oldest brother loves Chazz Palminteri. He's still with us. He's 89. He had to get half his foot amputated from the diabetes. And all he does is always talks about Chazz Palminteri. He loves Chazz Palminteri. So last night I got invited. Well, first of all, welcome, Chazz.
Thank you, Bo. Thank you.
Last night I got invited to this theater on the 13th Street. It was called a Quad. A quad. I didn't know what that looked like. I thought it was going into a friggin' robot, but it was a quad. And we went there. I went there with my friend Johnny Myers. He used to be the chairman, CEO of General Electric Asset Management. He used to control all kinds of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. So I said, come along with him. He loves Chazz too. So now I was expecting the one-man show to be the one-man show. Did I get shocked? I've never seen acting. Here's what happened. Chazz decided to do a movie about the one-man show. Now, when you're seeing a one-man show, it's kind of one-dimensional. You're watching for the audience. You're watching. But all of a sudden, he enabled, I think, 5 or 6 cameras from all different angles to get expressions that you didn't see when you're in the audience. And it was like a different something that it was completely different. And all I could say is you could hear a pin drop in that 90 minutes that we watched this movie, because it's a movie. You could hear a pin drop. I had tears in my eyes with some of the scenes and some of the portrayals. It was one of the most wonderful, and I'm telling anybody right now who's listening to me, go see it, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Chazz, welcome to the show, and
well, thank you.
I'm telling you.
Thank you.
I said it last night. I said one word, wow.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I really wanted to put it, like I said, I wanted to film it and put it for posterity, and Giant Pictures took it. And if people want to see it, all they have to do is go to Amazon, Apple, Google, Fandango. They can go stream it.
Oh, you can stream it?
Oh, yes, right now. Right now. It came out worldwide on all the English-speaking channels all over the world.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know. You know, Chazz is a New York guy, and he grew up up there in the Bronx with my friend over there who has a restaurant over there. He still has his restaurant up there. Patsy, right. My friend Pasquale.
Right, yes.
He's still up there. But, you know, I grew up in Ozone Park with Johnny Gotti and Joey Scopo and all the gangsters and all that.
Yes.
And Ralph Scopo, the father. And I used to drive him up to Fat Tony's joint. This is before I became a cop, of course. And I grew up with a kind of similar thing as far as looking at these wise guys, the brand new cars, how they dress.
Right.
Everything about them, they walk cool. Everything about them, and it was like bringing memories of my own back,
right.
and I could relate. And we all had neighborhoods where we grew up in, you know, as far as Italian American guys,
yeah.
And every aspect of that was great. So when you were a young guy, you were a young actor. I remember you were a bouncer. You were bouncing, what was that? The Limelight. The Slimelight, we used to call that.
The Limelight, 1982, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you wrote this script. Now, this is based on a true story, right?
Yeah, it's based on true events. Yes, that's correct.
True events. And part of the event, the big event, was that you witnessed.
That was the whole thing. That's how it all started, from witnessing this killing when I was a boy.
Right, and you were, at that time, you were at 8 or 9?
I was really almost 10.
10 years
Pretty
old.
Much 10.
So you wrote this original thing,
right.
And said to yourself, wow, because when you look at it, you said it had to happen. You had to put this on tape, and you had to make a movie out of it because it's so generously appealing.
It really comes from, Bo, When I decided to write something, well, I had to because I was at that time I ran out of money in L.A. I was doing guest star roles, and as an actor, you run out of money after a while. And then I said, well, do I go back to L.A., New York, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to write myself my own show. And I thought about The Killing, and each week I would perform 10 minutes at my theater workshop. 10 minutes, 5 minutes. I kept piecing the things together. And at the end of a year, I had this 90-minute show that was really, really tight. And that's how the whole thing started.
And you had a lot of hair, I tell you. When I was looking at those videos.
I had a lot of hair.
Yeah, you had a lot of hair. We all had a lot of hair.
That's true. That's true.
And so then you put together this one-man show, and it could have fizzled like everything else. It's all timing and all that, because in reality, if the right eyes don't see it, you don't get the funding to do anything else with it.
Yeah, it just, but as soon as I did it, it just exploded, Bo. From day one, everybody wanted to play Sonny. Al Pacino wanted to do it. They all wanted to do it. But I wouldn't sell it. I said, no. I said, I play Sonny, and I write the screenplay. And every director wanted to do it. Every studio wanted it. It's one of those, it only happened like twice in the history. Stallone.
Yeah, but Stallone with Rocky was kind of similar, where he wanted to play the starring role.
It only happened twice, him and me. Yes.
Wow, that's pretty good company.
Yeah, where they kept raising the price. Then it got over $1 million, and I still said no. Then De Niro came in, obviously, and saw it. And he was very smart, Bob. He said, look, if
did Bobby want to play that?
No.
Oh, he was
People
okay.
always think that Bob wanted to play Sonny. I never said that. No, never did. He always wanted to play Lorenzo because he wanted to direct it, so he didn't want to carry the movie.
Yeah.
He wanted to really direct it and play a smaller role.
And I think something that I got out of last night, different than watching a one-man show, was the relationship with your dad.
Yeah.
And that was quite remarkable there. Because I grew up with a father. My mother's born in Sicily. My father, German. So he used to, no problem. He used to, put it this way, he was a very disciplined type guy. And if I looked at my mother wrong, the belt buckle would go off, and the FD, his initials would be imprinted on my ass. And my father was a tough piece of work. And one thing that I had to be home at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. I had to be home.
Right.
And he knew that I used to take the Q8, the bus, down on Jerome Avenue down into Ozone Park from Richmond Hill.
Right.
And I used to hang out with the guys on the corner there.
Right.
And he knew that he had to keep his foot on me because, put it this way, if it wasn't for my father, I would have been a wise guy. I mean, really, because everything I've done in my life, I've done the best. If all of a sudden I became a whacker, I'd be a number one whacker.
Right.
No matter what I did, when I became a cop, I had to be the best. When I was a decoy, I got mugged 500 times. I had to do everything the best. My life has always been that way. So I always said my father's strictness. When I wrote the book, One Tough Cop, I wrote in the book to my father, I only got to know who you are after I became a man. I realized he knew I was a tough kid, always in fights, always swinging out, but he had to keep his shoe on my neck.
Yeah.
Kind of like your dad.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was worried, but it was right in your face there. You come out of your house on your stoop, and you have all the wise guys right in front of you. I had to take the Q8 to go. But the relationship, like I said, my father died early, and my brothers, I had two older brothers. I only have one left, and my older sister, she's gone. And at the funeral, I'll never forget, my father was laying in a coffin there, and he used to have huge hands because he used to smack the shit out of me with those hands. And I cried more than anybody. My brothers would say to me, why do you cry so much? He used to beat the shit out of you every day. I says, that was my father.
Wow.
So, and it kind of relates to what your relationship with your dad.
I mean, I think discipline is very important for a child. My father said, the older you get, the smarter I become.
Yeah.
He was right.
And I like the way last night, watching it again, I like you segueing back to the fact that where you thank your I don't call him a nemesis, I mean, he was like your godfather, and you thanked him for saving your life.
Yeah.
And you told your father that he saved your life and took you out of the car.
Yes, and my
And
father
all
cried.
four, am I correct? All four of those kids died?
They all died, yeah.
For people that don't remember, when Chazz, as a boy, got into a car with these four other guys, they were going to go firebomb some black guys. And the next thing is Sonny takes them out of the car, and then these kids end up all getting killed. And then Chazz's father only learns after the fact that Sonny saved your life.
Right, that's correct. The amazing thing about about what, and I always say, people go, "Is this true?" So I go, "Yes, it's on true events." But as any writer, you embellish.
Yeah.
And I don't think you know this, but I tell people, because I'm very straight up about it. When my friends pulled up with a car, and I got in and I put my foot to get in the car, and I asked them, just like in the movie, they said, "Come on." I said, "Where'd you get the car?" They said, "We borrowed it." I knew they stole it. And so when I saw the gas, I smelled the gas, and they told me where they were going, and I thought of my father and my mother, and I said, "I can't do this to them." And I pulled out, and the car closed. And as soon as the car door closed, Sonny pulled up, and the car took off. And he goes, "What are you doing? Get away from those." So actually, I didn't get in the car because of my father.
No, but I mean,
in real life.
But it works really well.
It works really well.
Yeah.
But I had Sonny pull me out, and it worked even better.
You know, it reminded me. So when I was 17 years old, I used to hang out at the corner. We had the corner on First Avenue there, Jerome Avenue,
right?
In Ozone Park. Johnny Gotti was hanging around with Joey Scopo, Ralphie Scopo, the Sender Boys, the Babes Costanzo, all the gangsters. And I used to hang. I used to think they were so cool, but I used to get my ass kicked by my father if I came home late. So one thing about it, people didn't know. I don't know if it was like that in the Bronx because I'm a little older than you.
Right.
We had a rash of heroin addicts.
Yeah,
Italian kids.
So did we. Yes.
I knew 10 kids that overdosed. That was our dirty little secret
we did.
In our neighborhood.
Me too, yes.
And then Ralph Scopo Jr. was a junkie. He was a heroin addict. Now, when I was in high school, I was high bar probably. I used to be the captain of the Marine Corps physical fitness team. So I was doing 40 pull-ups, 180 push-ups. So I was in great shape. So I used to wear short sleeve shirts. So the father took a liking to me, Ralph Sr. So he used to want me to hang around with Ralph Jr. because he knew I was a junkie. All the other ones had tracks on their arms.
Right.
So he kind of pushes. So one day I'm in Howard Beach at the Jet Burger. Guy sucker punched me, Johnny Sears. You've heard of that name before.
Yes, I have.
He sucker punches me with a brass knuckles, knocks my tooth around. Next thing is I come back to the corner. I went to Jamaica Hospital, and we searched for the guys, the gang that hit us.
Right.
They weren't around. So about 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm driving around my Gambati, Ronnie Strapone, my friend who became an engineer, and we're driving around. He says, "There he is." I said, "Ronnie, I don't remember what the guy looked like. He sucker punched me." That's him. So he took one of these big ratchet wrenches out of the back seat. He tiptoes behind. He was walking with his girlfriend. He hits him in the head. Bang, bang, bang. He goes down. He gets up. He runs. So now he runs away. He had to go to the hospital. I think he had a fractured skull too, but whatever. He didn't die then. And next thing is, the next day, comes back to the corner. I want to fight this guy. He sucker punched me, right? I was a tough kid. So Joey Scopo says to me, "Look, we got word from Howard Beach. This kid wants to meet you and fight you 12 o'clock at the old wooden bridge." They had an old wooden bridge in Howard Beach.
Right.
So I says, "Yeah, I want to fight the mother effer." I says, "He sucker punched me." Joey Scopo says to me, "He ain't gonna fight you. He's friends with these pagans." We had a pagan motorcycle gang. They were called the Pagans.
Pagans. I remember that name, yes.
They had the Pagans. So he goes, "Bo, they're gonna kill you." I says, "I want to fight him." So now I get in the car. It was a 1966 Fleetwood Green Cadillac. And they used to live on 106th Street and Atlantic Avenue.
Right.
Ralphie Scopo and Joey Scopo and the father and all that. We get in the car. I'm sitting in the back seat. Joey Scopo goes upstairs, comes down with a paper bag with 238s, revolvers. Now I'm sitting in the back. I got Johnny Gotti sitting next to one side, Dennis Green on the other side, and in the front seat is Joey Scopo's driving, and Foxy of New Lot. Tough guy. He was in the other seat there. They're loading the guns. I said, "Look, I want to fight the guy. I don't want to." Now I'm saying to myself, "Holy shit!"
Right.
From a fight, this has become serious stuff.
Right.
But they knew they were laying from me. So we pull up there. Joey Scopo says, "Bo, you stay in the effing back seat. Don't leave. Johnny, don't let him come out of the car."
Right.
To Johnny Gotti, telling Johnny Gotti, "Don't let him out of the car." They walk over there. Out from under the old wooden bridge comes these long-haired guys, kind of similar. That we could have used that same casting thing for this.
But, yeah.
And they come out, and I'll never forget. Joey Scopo stood about 6'2", 6'3", one of the toughest guys I've ever seen throw punches.
Right.
He broke one guy's arm. One guy came out with a machete, broke his arm. Foxy knew that they were knocking him out. Cops came. All of a sudden, they had this little toll house. They went in there. They probably paid the cops. So they come walking out, and then we disappear. Make a long story short, I end up meeting him in the Golden Gloves, Johnny Sears, after that.
Yeah.
We become friends. I become a homicide detective. I lock him up on a friggin' murder. I end up locking him up on a murder.
Jesus.
I mean, everything coming around. But my going back to the neighborhood,
Right.
you can't make up the truth.
No.
And
The truth is honest.
And
Right.
it's so wonderful to watch that. And I keep going back to this movie you
Well,
made.
no, it's important. It's one person playing 18 characters in a movie. For those who don't know, I do the whole movie of Bronx Tale on stage. That's what Robert De Niro saw. That's how the play got made. That's how the
musical too.
Yeah, the musical too. I wrote the play, the movie, and the musical. Now the movie of the one-man show.
I think it's the best. I'm
I
sorry.
think- yeah.
I'm sorry to say, Chazz, and
Yeah.
I didn't come here pre-planned to tell you this.
Yeah.
I like that better than the Bronx Tale. I like that better than the one-man show that you used to have. I thought
Yeah.
it was the best.
Yeah. Well, for those people who still want to see me do it live, they go to ChazzPalminteri.net, and I'll be at the Paramount in Huntington, the Paramount Theater, and I'll be in Bloomfield. I'll be in, if they go to ChazzPalminteri.net, they'll see.
Now, when you filmed the movie, was it all just the one show, or did you just cut some out of there?
No, what I did was I filmed one live show.
Yeah, because here's what my idea is. The way it was is perfect.
Yeah.
So you don't have to tell me anything different. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But the way I liked it was when you need the quietness.
Yes.
And I could just say to myself, that had to be done without an audience, where you didn't have to have any disruption from the audience.
No, actually, it was with the
Really?
audience, yes.
Wow, it was so like when we watched it yesterday,
Yeah,
last
it was
night.
very. But when I do it, it's people stand up and cheer at the end. It's
I stood up
It's
and
one of
cheered.
those great shows, man. It really is.
Yeah. And I tell you, again, I can't say it stronger. And you could use a quote from me. Wow, greatest
Well, thanks,
piece of
bro.
acting that I've ever seen. And we've been known to do a couple of things together. a little
Right,
acting.
we're doing Godfather of Harlem again.
You play Mr. Bonanno.
Right,
And I
Bonanno.
think you've come back from Arizona now. right?
Arizona now, yeah. We'll
Yeah.
be back for the 4th and 5th season.
I tell you what, The Godfather of Harlem is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Again, this is entertainment.
Right.
And because I'll never forget when we had Forrest Whitaker come in playing Bumpy Johnson. All I know is the 5 crime family heads are you one, and I'm Tommy Lucchese, and he walks in, he starts cursing at us and everything. Then he turns around, and I'll never forget. After we cut, I said, "This guy would have never walked out of this place alive."
Yes, probably, yes.
But it's a great script. Everyone loves it. It's entertaining, and it's great to do. And then we do our little what's his name? Will DeMayo's
Well,
Gravesend.
the Mayor's on Gravesend. We'll be
Yeah.
back on that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But it's fun stuff. But you're a real New Yorker. What is your feelings like? What's going on in the city today?
Well, I hope now that things change a little bit, only because I think that crime is not good.
Mm-hmm.
I think the subways are not good. I think they're dirty, and I think they're dangerous. And I hope they could fix that.
And basically, my whole thing is this: I'm a son of an immigrant.
So am I.
So are you. So we welcome people that want to work hard, and there's a lot of jobs that people don't want to do now.
Yeah.
But you have people that are going to work hard, and I know immigrants do work hard.
Yes.
And the only thing that I'm just negative about, my business is crime and the influx of these real criminal gangs and all that are going around our cities with no avail for public safety. And I like what's going on about rounding up the criminal element
Yeah, me
and
too.
getting them the hell out of here. And what's happening now, I don't know what your politics are. doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I know Donald Trump 40 years. You know, he has his ups and downs, but I'm 1,000,000% in back of him, what he's doing. It's a great feeling, and I just can't understand some of my liberal left-wing friends. They just hate him so much, but it's like a new feeling. I was at the inauguration, of course, and I was with the president.
Oh, you were there?
With Margot, we were there.
Okay.
He acknowledged me and all that. But it's a different feeling from the way it was all around and everything, with business and everything. It's a positive feeling.
I don't understand, Bo. Maybe you could explain to me, why would some of these mayors like Chicago and Denver stop people from taking criminals off their street? Why would they do that?
I grabbed the governor. I gave her $5,000 at a fundraiser.
Understand.
And her husband happens to be a former AUSA, United States Attorney, and he was there. Bo, he's a big fan of mine, bull crap, right?
Yeah.
So next day I said, Mrs. Governor, I says, why don't you do an executive order, whoever is illegal in this country and commits a felony, bye-bye, give it to ICE.
Right.
I can't understand why not. And even the mayor, who I know very well, I can't understand why he can't do it. I know the city council don't want to let him do it, the liberal assembly and the state senate. I said, but you as a leader, executive order, we're turning it over to ICE, not the people who are here illegally just trying to do work. I'm talking about the criminal element that commit crimes. What is the problem with that?
I don't know. I wish somebody could explain that to me.
And that's how strong I am, because people say, oh, they're breaking up families. No, I'm not for that. Right now, our main initiative should be get that criminal element off the street and get them back to wherever the hell they come from, and let people try to feel, public safety to me is the most important thing, because if you don't feel safe,
but that's your job. That's your job as a government, to keep us safe.
Yeah, and I mean, what's going on with the corruption in New York City, you don't even know half of it. And I've been not involved. Thank God I didn't get involved. But there was a lot of corruption. I think 12 of the main lieutenants of this current mayor have now left. There are current indictments going down, and there's superseding indictments. There was so much corruption. When they come in, they spent, I think, about over $6.5 billion in the last 2.5 years on the migrants, including $1.3 billion in security.
That's crazy.
No bid contracts. Let me go further than that. And all I could say is, Chazz, I'm a very honorable man. I've been in business 40 years. And one of those things, now we're reverting back to my father, taught me, you don't take what you don't earn.
Right.
And I could have got myself into a jackpot doing security for this city. And you know what? I told it to the mayor. I do not want to get involved with that. Right. I refused, and thank God. And you know who's telling me? Stay away. I could have made $100 million easily. You know who's telling me? Oh. My father's looking down saying,
there you go.
Son, I taught you, you don't take what you don't earn. And that's, to me, is something that was instilled.
Don't these guys know sooner or later they're going to get caught? Don't they know that, Bo?
You know what it is? It becomes when you have a fog. When you have a fog, because you're talking about all these hundreds of thousands of migrants coming into the city.
Right.
There's a fog there because there's so much overwhelmingness. Then you say, well, why not put RFPs? Why not do fair bids? No, just give it to that one, give it to that one. And believe me, follow the money, and they're following the money. And I think it's going to be one of the biggest corruption scandals that this city has ever seen, because there's so much money at stake here. It's just funny. Our chancellor's gone, Banks. Our commissioners are gone. Everybody's gone.
Everybody's gone.
Except the mayor's holding on by his nails, and I don't know how long he can hold on, but I don't like to see anybody's demise.
Right.
And I happen to like Eric Adams as a friend.
Yeah, I met him. He seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes the greed.
The greed, yeah.
And you know, I don't know if you remember, because you're a historian in a sense. Remember that Detroit, Swami from Detroit?
Yeah.
That was the mayor that was robbing this city blind.
Yes.
Similar. He put all his boys in there.
Yeah.
And then he went away he was robbing everything, robbing the city blind.
Yeah.
And I hate to say, I think we're on the verge of seeing what really happened in New York City very soon. And it's bad. It's bad. And it hurts me. I love this city. I was still running a business for 40 years in New York City.
Right.
And
so are they going to, I guess, get somebody's got to, run for mayor?
well, we got our boy Sid. Sid
Right.
is endorsing our friend there, Curtis Lewa.
Oh yeah,
Curtis Lee was a great guy.
Great guy. Common sense.
I put a $10,000 reward when he got shot by Gotti's crew. I didn't know who shot him that time in the '90s. I actually put a $10,000 reward.
You did?
Yeah. Then he started going against me on the show, and then I grabbed him in his office in the back here, and I said, "If you open your mouth about my friends from 115th Street, I said I'll knock you on your ass."
Right.
I said I protected you
Right.
when you got shot. You're my friend. I am 100% in back of Curtis Lee.
Yeah, common sense.
He's a hard-working man. He knows this city, and I got a lot of respect for him. And if he truly runs for mayor, he has to do one thing. He has to put some real smart people around. You know what I learned in business? You're as smart as the people that you put around you.
No question.
Because if you put criminals around you, you are a criminal.
You are a criminal.
And that's the way it is. Yeah.
Yes.
And, basically, so what's it next in the year? What are the movies or TV stuff you have besides Godfather of Harlem?
Besides Godfather of Harlem, well, I got a movie coming. I'm going to be doing a movie in Rhode Island, 3 Doors Down, which I'm really, really excited to do. And that's about right now from doing the one-man show. And I'm going to be doing a lot of press. I'll be going all around the country now doing press for the film A Bronx Tale, the one-man show. But like I said, people can get it on Amazon, on Google, on Amazon, Google, Fandango.
Wow.
Yes.
And
Apple.
And again, all I thought about, I went home last night. Margot's down in Florida. I called her up. I said, Margot, I said, holy shit. I says, I just got blown away by Chazz. I says, with me seeing all the movies and all that, knowing them, I just went like, and my first reaction last night when you called upon me was, wow, W-O-W, wow. And I really mean that.
Well, thank you. That's the way most people feel after they see it. It's one of those things. People come over and say, how do you do that? I said, I don't know. I just do it,
And again, we love this city, and we're just hoping and praying that whoever comes in and takes it over, it's the greatest city in the world.
It really is.
We got problems, but we can eliminate those problems.
Right.
But the most important thing is making people feel comfortable and safe.
Right.
And it's not perception. When people fear going on the subway, when they're yanking 700 more cops down, that's not perception. And if we can't put our hands around mentally ill people who can be harmful to you or to themselves, this is the responsibility of the mayor of New York City, is to make people feel safe. And if they don't feel safe, and I'm worried about my sons and my daughters, my grandchildren in New York City. I worry about them. I carry a gun, but I worry about them.
Yes, take it. I told my daughter, take an Uber. It's okay.
Well, and my son's meeting me tonight for dinner. You listen, they're all over there in Williamsburg now. That's real cool.
Very
and all
beautiful
that.
Williamsburg.
And I said I see him. I give him $100. I says, "You take the friggin' Uber." No, Dad, I don't have. You take the Uber.
Take the Uber.
And I'm scared stiff. And, he's 30 years old. He's in good shape. You can't be in good shape if somebody has a blade or a gun.
Absolutely. Do you think it'll take, how long do you think it'll take before they get the city in shape, the right people?
Well, first of all, we got to get rid of the problem in New York City is not just the mayor. It's the city council. They are so to the far left. When you have police officers that are out there, one, they came in with this choke law. A choke is not a headlock. And I tried to describe this to Mayor Adams. And look, he made 5 arrests in 20 years. I made 5 arrests in one night. I used to block up people. I used a headlock. And I was a little guy. I was only 5'8" when I came on the force. To take down a 6'3" guy, you grab him in a headlock, you bring him on the ground. And nobody ever died. And I said, we have to We have to show the city council a headlock is not a chokehold. Because if a cop can't grab somebody, then they come out with this ridiculous diaphragm law. You know what that means? You're trying to handcuff somebody, you can't climb on top of them. How do you do that? You levitate and drop the handcuffs? How do you do that?
Isn't it more dangerous for the cops?
Yeah, and
they
now,
can't control the person.
And now they come out with another goodie. If someone asks you for directions, you got to stop everything, and you got to fill out an affidavit. Someone asks you for directions. All they do is handcuff the cops. They're losing the best detectives in the world. They're all retiring, and you got no one to teach these young kids. And then these young kids don't want to get involved. They're afraid to lose their pension. Now you can sue them civilly. Where does it end for a cop?
It doesn't pay to be a cop now.
I think I'd break my son's arm before letting him become a cop.
Wow.
I really am sorry. You know, we have a great chief of detectives, Joe Kenny, one of the great breed of detectives. But I don't know when this ends. It's going to take time.
Yeah.
But until we start putting city council people that have really an idea what the hell is going on. Everybody's looking for one thing. What do I get for free? What can I get?
Right.
What can I get? How about working friggin' hard and earning what you get?
Right. Yeah, you're right, Bo.
The values that your father taught you, my father taught me, and my mother taught me, your mom taught you, were you work hard. Hard work equals success, and you're the proven factors.
Well, thank you.
And, you know, again, Chazz, I really want to thank you. We're winding right down, but I want to thank you for coming on board. And all I could tell my audience here, tell everybody, you will not be more surprised than to watch this movie about a one-man show. Sounds like boring? Not in the least. You'll have tears in your eyes. The emotions will come out of you because you relate to everything that happened in Chazz's life in this movie about his one-man show about the Bronx Tale. And till next week, join me at Bo Dietl's One Tough Podcast. Thank you, Chazz.
Thank you, Bo.
Thank you, bro.
God bless. Thank you.